Hello, I'm Hope Logan. I am an actor on Bold and the Beautiful, and many people really love both me and our Bold and the Beautiful drama. So I've come here to share updates about my beloved Bold and the Beautiful. Everyone, please subscribe and support me. If you do, I will keep coming every day with new updates for you. For months, the world of the Bold and the Beautiful had been quietly building toward emotional chaos, weaving together a dangerous love triangle that felt destined to explode at any moment. Viewers watched as Deacon Sharp and Taylor Hayes drifted closer and closer together, their connection growing in secret while an even greater storm waited just beneath the surface. What made their romance so captivating was the fact that it was never supposed to happen. Taylor represented stability, compassion, and emotional healing, while Deacon carried years of complicated baggage and messy history behind him. Yet somehow, against all expectations, the two found comfort in each other, and their forbidden love story slowly transformed into one of the show's most unexpected emotional centerpieces. But as their relationship deepened behind closed doors, another woman stood unknowingly on the edge of heartbreak, and everyone knew that once Sheila Carter discovered the truth, nothing would ever stay calm for long again. When Sheila finally uncovered the affair, the emotional fallout hit with the force of a wildfire tearing through dry ground. The betrayal cut deep because Sheila had allowed herself to believe that Deacon truly belonged to her, that despite all the darkness and instability surrounding their relationship, there was still something real connecting them. Watching Deacon choose Taylor over her unleashed a mixture of heartbreak, rage, humiliation, and disbelief that simmered beneath Sheila's icy composure. Yet in true Sheila fashion, she refused to completely shatter in front of anyone. Instead, she delivered a reaction that was far more unsettling. Sheila told Deacon she would accept his decision, and for a brief moment, it almost felt as though she was stepping aside peacefully, allowing him to pursue happiness with Taylor. But longtime viewers knew better than to trust calmness from someone like Sheila Carter, because beneath her controlled words lingered something far more dangerous: the unmistakable promise that this story was far from over. Even as Sheila appeared to back away, the show carefully planted ominous clues that hinted at the chaos still waiting to come. Sheila openly suggested that Deacon's new relationship with Taylor was not the end of her story with him, and the way she delivered those chilling hints sent waves of unease through the audience. She made it clear that she intended to return, and the atmosphere surrounding her scenes carried the heavy tension of a ticking time bomb that nobody could stop. Then came the moment that truly unsettled fans. Hidden away from sight, Sheila watched Deacon and Taylor celebrating their future together, spying on them as they embraced the happiness they believed they had finally earned. But while the couple smiled about their new beginning, Sheila stood alone in the shadows with a mischievous, calculating expression crossing her face. It was the kind of look that instantly made viewers brace themselves for sabotage, manipulation, and destruction. The camera lingered on Sheila just long enough to make everyone wonder the same terrifying thing. What exactly was she planning? And yet, just as the tension reached its boiling point, the entire storyline suddenly vanished into silence. Weeks passed, and the show shifted its attention elsewhere, leaving fans confused as three major characters seemingly disappeared from the canvas altogether. Sheila Carter, Deacon Sharp, and Taylor Hayes all faded from the spotlight at the exact moment their story felt ready to explode into its next dramatic chapter. The abrupt pause left viewers frustrated because the emotional momentum had been building perfectly toward confrontation, revenge, and heartbreak. Instead of continuing that dangerous triangle, the series redirected its focus toward the escalating Logan Forrester fashion feud, Brooke Logan Forrester's ambitious co-CEO proposal, and the growing drama surrounding Remy Price. While those storylines certainly brought their own tension and glamour, many fans couldn't help feeling that something essential was suddenly missing from the emotional heartbeat of the show. The absence of Sheila in particular created an eerie void, Because everyone knows that when Sheila disappears quietly, it usually means she's preparing something even more disturbing behind the scenes. At the same time, viewers are left to assume that Taylor and Deacon's relationship continues to flourish somewhere off-screen, untouched for now by the danger looming around them. That assumption alone creates an almost unbearable sense of suspense because this feels like the perfect moment for Sheila to strike. The longer Deacon and Taylor remain happy together, the more inevitable Sheila's retaliation begins to feel. Fans know Sheila too well to believe she would simply surrender and walk away from the man she wanted. Her history is filled with obsession, manipulation, revenge, and shocking schemes that erupt when people least expect them. That's why the delay in continuing this storyline has only intensified anticipation. Every quiet episode without Sheila almost feels like the calm before a devastating storm, leaving viewers anxiously waiting for the moment she finally reemerges with a new plan designed to destroy Taylor's happiness and pull Deacon back into her orbit. Of course, longtime followers of the bold and the beautiful understand that patience is often part of the experience. Storylines rise and fall in waves, characters disappear for stretches of time, and explosive drama is often saved for the moment audiences least expect it. Deep down, most fans know this storyline has probably been paused rather than abandoned completely. Sheila Carter has always found her way back into the center of chaos, eventually, no matter how many times she seems defeated or pushed aside. That's exactly why viewers remain so invested in what comes next. The uncertainty surrounding Sheila's eventual return only fuels speculation about how far she might go once she decides to act. Will she manipulate Deacon emotionally? Will she target Taylor directly? Or will she unleash a darker, more twisted scheme that tears apart everything they've built together? Those questions continue hanging over the show like storm clouds waiting to burst. What makes the silence even more frustrating is the timing. Many viewers expected this storyline to erupt during May sweeps, the period when soap operas traditionally deliver some of their biggest shocks and most dramatic twists. Instead, the narrative has stalled right at the edge of what could have been a massive emotional explosion. That lingering sense of unfinished tension has left fans desperate for movement, desperate for answers, and desperate to finally witness Sheila's next disturbing move. Because if there's one thing viewers know for certain, it's that Sheila Carter never stays quiet forever. Somewhere beneath the surface, the obsession is still burning, the resentment is still alive, and the desire to reclaim Deacon has almost certainly not faded away. And when Sheila finally steps back into the spotlight, the fallout could shatter every fragile piece of happiness Taylor and Deacon believe they have found together. As the silence surrounding Sheila Carter continues to stretch across the canvas, the tension only grows heavier with every passing episode, because viewers know that in the world of the bold and the beautiful, peace is often the most dangerous warning sign of all. Sheila has never been the kind of woman who accepts defeat quietly, especially when it comes to love, obsession, and the people she believes belong to her. That lingering image of her watching Deacon and Taylor together still hangs over the storyline like a haunting shadow that refuses to disappear. There was something deeply unsettling in the way she stood there unseen, silently observing the future they were building without her. It wasn't simply jealousy burning in her eyes. It felt like calculation, like the gears of another dangerous plan slowly beginning to turn. And because the show chose to leave that moment unresolved, fans have been left trapped in a state of emotional suspense, endlessly wondering what kind of storm Sheila may unleash once she finally returns to center stage. Meanwhile, Taylor Hayes and Deacon Sharp remain suspended in this strange off-screen happiness, almost as though the universe itself is allowing them one final breath before the chaos begins. Their relationship had become surprisingly heartfelt, especially because both characters carried years of emotional scars and complicated histories behind them. Taylor brought warmth and stability into Deacon's chaotic world, while Deacon seemed to find genuine peace in a connection that felt far deeper than many expected. That emotional sincerity is exactly what raises the stakes so dramatically now. The happier Deacon and Taylor become, the more devastating Sheila's inevitable interference could be. Soap opera fans understand this pattern all too well. Moments of joy are often carefully constructed only so they can later be shattered in the most heartbreaking way possible. And somewhere in the background of this story, Sheila remains like a dormant volcano, quiet for now, but capable of erupting without warning and destroying everything standing in her path. The uncertainty surrounding Sheila's next move has sparked endless speculation among viewers, because there are countless ways she could try to destroy Deacon and Taylor's future together. Sheila has never relied on just one kind of manipulation. Sometimes she attacks emotionally, twisting people's vulnerabilities until relationships collapse from within. Other times, she creates chaos through secrets, deception, or calculated betrayals designed to isolate her targets completely. That unpredictability is what makes her such a terrifying presence in the world of the show. Fans can easily imagine Sheila trying to convince Deacon that Taylor doesn't truly understand him, or perhaps planting doubt inside Taylor's mind until trust between them begins to crack. And if emotional manipulation fails, viewers know Sheila is more than capable of escalating things into something far darker and far more dangerous. The possibility of that looming destruction is exactly why audiences remain so emotionally invested in seeing this storyline continue. At the same time, the show's decision to shift focus toward other major storylines has created an unusual emotional imbalance for many longtime fans. The glamorous Logan Forrester rivalry continues dominating much of the spotlight, with fashion power struggles, business ambitions, and romantic complications driving the current drama forward. Brooke Logan Forrester's co-CEO ambitions bring their own tension and political maneuvering, while the growing Remy Price situation introduces fresh conflict into the series. Yet, despite all of those moving pieces, there's still a feeling that something explosive is missing from the emotional core of the show. Sheila's absence leaves behind a very specific kind of suspense, the kind built on unpredictability, fear, and psychological danger. Few characters in daytime television carry the same reputation for chaos that Sheila Carter does. And whenever she disappears from the story, audiences instinctively begin waiting for the exact moment everything will spiral out of control again. What makes Sheila such an unforgettable force is the fact that she rarely acts impulsively when she truly wants something. Instead, she waits, she watches, she studies weaknesses and opportunities until the perfect opening finally appears. That's why the current pause in the storyline almost feels intentional within the narrative itself, as though Sheila is somewhere off-screen quietly preparing her next move, while Deacon and Taylor remain unaware of the danger approaching them. The anticipation surrounding that possibility creates a slow-burning tension that continues building week after week. Every romantic moment between Taylor and Deacon now carries an invisible layer of dread because viewers understand how fragile happiness can be in Sheila's world. No celebration feels safe, no future feels secure, and no relationship remains untouched once Sheila decides she wants her place back. For now, fans are left holding on to questions that grow louder with every episode. When will Sheila finally reappear? What scheme is she secretly planning? How far will she go to steal Deacon away from Taylor and reclaim the future she believes should belong to her? Those unanswered questions continue fueling excitement, frustration, and anticipation all at once. But if history has proven anything, it's that Sheila Carter always returns eventually, and when she does, she rarely arrives quietly. Somewhere ahead lies the next explosive chapter of this dangerous love triangle, and when the story finally ignites again, the emotional fallout could send shockwaves through everyone connected to it. Until then, viewers remain trapped in the uneasy calm before the storm, waiting for the moment Sheila's dirty tricks finally take center stage once more. The longer the story remains dormant, the more the atmosphere around Sheila Carter begins to feel almost eerie, as though the show is deliberately allowing tension to simmer beneath the surface before unleashing something explosive. In the world of the bold and the beautiful, some threats arrive loudly and immediately, but Sheila has always been far more dangerous when she becomes quiet. Silence gives her room to think, to obsess, and to carefully plan her next move without anyone realizing what's coming. That is exactly why fans continue replaying that final haunting image of Sheila spying on Deacon and Taylor together. The scene carried the unmistakable feeling of unfinished business, the kind of lingering moment soap operas use to foreshadow disaster waiting just around the corner. Even without appearing on screen, Sheila's presence still hangs over the story like a shadow stretching across every moment of Taylor and Deacon's fragile happiness. And the more comfortable they become, the more viewers fear the devastating crash that may eventually follow. For Taylor Hayes especially, the danger feels deeply emotional because her relationship with Deacon represented something unexpected and hopeful after so much pain in her past. Taylor has spent years enduring heartbreak, betrayal, and emotional turmoil, often finding herself trapped in complicated love triangles and impossible family conflicts. With Deacon, however, there seemed to be a chance for something refreshingly genuine. Their bond wasn't built on glamour or fantasy, but on understanding each other's scars and finding comfort in shared vulnerability. That emotional sincerity made their connection resonate with viewers in a surprisingly powerful way. Watching Taylor allow herself to trust again felt meaningful, almost like she was finally choosing happiness after years of emotional exhaustion, which is precisely why the possibility of Sheila tearing it all apart feels so heartbreaking before it has even happened. And then there's Deacon Sharp, a man who has spent much of his life balancing between redemption and self-destruction. Deacon's history is filled with mistakes, complicated romances, and painful consequences, yet his relationship with Taylor offered him something rare: stability. Around Taylor, he seemed calmer, softer, and more hopeful about the future than fans had seen him in a long time. That transformation made the storyline feel emotionally layered instead of simply scandalous. Beneath the forbidden romance was the idea that two flawed people might actually help heal each other, but lurking behind that hope is the terrifying reality that Sheila knows Deacon better than almost anyone. She understands his weaknesses, his guilt, his impulses, and the emotional vulnerabilities that could still be manipulated if she chooses the right strategy. That history between them is what makes Sheila such a dangerous threat to their future, because she isn't an outsider attacking blindly. She knows exactly where the cracks already exist. As viewers continue waiting for the next chapter, speculation has only intensified regarding what form Sheila's revenge could take once she finally returns. Some fans fear she may attempt to emotionally sabotage Taylor and Deacon from within, quietly planting mistrust and insecurity until their relationship begins collapsing under pressure. Others believe Sheila's obsession with Deacon could drive her towards something far more reckless and destructive. The terrifying thing about Sheila is that there are no limits audiences can confidently place on her behavior. Her love has always existed side by side with obsession, and her desperation often transforms into dangerous unpredictability the moment she feels rejected or abandoned. That uncertainty creates an almost unbearable tension hanging over the storyline because viewers know that even the smallest emotional trigger could set Sheila off in ways nobody sees coming. And if her resentment continues growing in silence, the eventual explosion could become even more devastating than fans originally imagined. At the same time, the show's temporary focus on fashion wars, corporate battles, and other romantic drama almost creates the illusion of normalcy inside the larger world of the series. Characters continue fighting for power at Forrester, relationships continue shifting, and new conflicts continue emerging across Los Angeles. But beneath all of that glamour and business rivalry remains the unresolved emotional time bomb connected to Sheila, Deacon, and Taylor. It's the kind of suspended storyline that quietly builds anticipation with every passing week because audiences know it cannot remain untouched forever. The writers have invested too much emotional energy into the triangle to simply abandon it completely. Sheila's final words and lingering presence made that impossible. So now viewers sit in a state of nervous anticipation, waiting for the exact moment the story finally swings back toward the danger that has been patiently waiting in the shadows. And perhaps that is what makes this storyline so compelling, even during its absence. The promise of inevitable chaos. Fans aren't merely waiting for Sheila to return, they're waiting to see how much damage she's willing to cause in order to reclaim the life she believes was stolen from her. Every soap opera thrives on emotional explosions, but some rivalries and obsessions carry a deeper intensity because of the history behind them. Sheila Carter's history is built on destruction, manipulation, and shocking acts that leave permanent scars on everyone around her. That reputation alone keeps viewers emotionally locked into the story, even while the characters themselves remain off-screen. Because no matter how calm things appear right now, nobody truly believes the peace will last. Somewhere ahead lies the moment Sheila steps back into the light, and when she does, the fallout may change everything for Taylor, Deacon, and everyone unlucky enough to get caught in the middle of her next dangerous scheme.